In his quarters at the Jedi Temple, Jedi Grandmaster Yoda had been meditating when he heard the voice of the long-lost Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn. The rest of the Jedi Council utilise a number of techniques to try to reach the Jedi, but Yoda is told to go alone to the planet of Dagobah. Qui-Gon is manifested as a group of fireflies, as his training had been incomplete, and guides Yoda into a cave, which held the answers that Yoda sought. The Grandmaster sees terrible visions of the Jedi falling at the hands of a mysterious red blade, but critically, nothing to do with Anakin Skywalker. Even a trip to the wellspring of life, and an encounter with the Force priestesses, cannot point to Anakin being the key to defeating the Sith, and it took until the battle over Coruscant for Yoda to realise the impact of Anakin on the Jedi. The Jedi Knight had had premonitions of his secret wife Senator Padme Amidala of Naboo dying in childbirth, and he consulted the Jedi Grandmaster. In spite of Anakin's obvious attachment, Yoda insisted that Anakin let go of everything he feared to lose, prompting more doubts in Anakin, who had no intentions of letting Padme walk to her death, making him vulnerable to the dark side. But what if Yoda had premonitions of Anakin turning to the dark side? How would the Jedi Grandmaster respond to these visions? As you're going to discover, Yoda could have changed the galaxy for the Jedi. The Jedi Grandmaster walked through the cave with determination, just as Qui-Gon had told him to. To his horror, he saw the Jedi being massacred by the mysterious Sith they had been pursuing, and he tried to look beneath the hood, but even worse, he witnessed Anakin kneeling at the foot of the Sith Lord. As the Jedi collapsed to the floor, Qui-Gon commands for Yoda to go to the wellspring of life, and complete what he could not. Yoda is able to complete his training, even with the attempted intervention of Dooku and Sidious, hearing a distant echo that there will be another Skywalker. Returning to the Jedi Temple with more questions than answers, Windu and Obi-Wan were surprised to hear what Yoda had seen on Dagobah, and the Masters correctly deduced that for there to be another Skywalker, Anakin would have to be a father. Obi-Wan knows that Padme was the obvious bearer of the children, but he still could not believe how Anakin could turn to the dark side, in spite of his recent outbursts regarding Rush Clovis. The council meet again to discuss everything Yoda had learned from his journey in the Force, and they decide that they need to keep a more studious eye on Anakin, if he really was that important to the future of the Order, and his movements are carefully traced. Master Kenobi did not approve of the Council's intrusion on the life of Anakin, but was unwilling to betray the Council by telling his Padawan, as he is summoned to the Council alongside Anakin, to investigate the mysterious death of Jedi Master Tuan on Utapau. There the Jedi has his chance to talk to Anakin, choosing to tell him that he knew of his concerns of Padme. The Jedi Knight is worried that the Council would expel him, but from what Yoda told Obi-Wan, Anakin's status as a Jedi could not be touched, whilst the hidden Sidious was still alive. Anakin is grateful for their support, but the previous lies of the Council had not escaped his memory, and perhaps Grievous could have the answers. The cyborg is ruthless in his denial, stating that he would not be pushed over so easily, and escaped the Jedi to find Dooku again. The droid general bowed to Dooku, and he reported that the Jedi were aware of Sidious, but did not know of his true identity. Dooku shook his head at the blindness of the Jedi, as this had been one of the reasons he had left the Order for the ambitions of the Sith. Dooku entered into his solar sailor and set course for Coruscant again, but whilst he would normally visit his master, this time he aimed to provide another clue for the Jedi. Utilising a service droid, Dooku sets off a detonator in the industrial sector, hoping to be noticed by the Jedi. In the temple, the Council had just dispatched Quinlan Vos to find Asajj Ventress and tried to assassinate Dooku when they received a transmission from Admiral Tarkin reporting of the damage to the industrial district. The Jedi deployed the recently returning Anakin and Obi-Wan, concerned that this was a similar attack to the one inflicted by Barriss Offee, but they soon find that it was Dooku. Like their encounter on Obadiah, Dooku looked at Obi-Wan and reaffirmed that Obi-Wan had to act upon the advice on Geonosis, and this time the Jedi Master sensed honesty from the fallen Jedi. The two Jedi quickly head back to the Council and reveal that the Senate was in charge of the war, and they could now narrow the candidates for the position of a Sith Lord to those in a Senate building, but they had to ensure that the Sith would not detect their efforts. The Jedi knew that for the plan to succeed, they could not trust anyone, not even Anakin Skywalker, who they deemed to be too close to Senator Amidala and the Supreme Chancellor, the latter of whom they had become suspicious of. First summoning the Senator of Naboo to their chamber, they test their force sensitivity and find it was too low to be considered for entry into the Jedi Order, and she was allowed to walk free. But as she departed, she encountered Anakin running back from the Senate building and heading for the Council. The Jedi Knight had just spoken to his friend Palpatine, and he'd been recommended for the Council to provide him with a seat as Palpatine's very own representative. Yoda, Windu and Obi-Wan knowingly look at each other, as this had been what they were waiting for. Palpatine had revealed his hand, and aligned with Dooku's hints and Yoda's visions of Anakin, the Supreme Chancellor must be the Sith Lord. The Jedi Council decide to summon Palpatine, under the impression they would be questioned for his reasons for appointing Anakin, instead of detecting his force sensitivity. In his office, the Sith Lord turned to the holograms of the Jedi Council members, requesting his presence, and he felt a disturbance in the Force. Accepting their invitation, he turned to Amidala and asked for his ship to be prepared, then set course for Dooku's home planet of Sereno, and landed just outside of his palace. Dooku bowed to his master's unexpected visit, before being bathed in a lightning attack from Sidious. The Sith Lord could not be deceived by his apprentice's attack on Coruscant's industrial sector, and continued his assault by lifting him into the air, then crushing him with one of the pillars of his palace, leaving him for dead, knowing he would soon have a more powerful apprentice. Ordering Grievous to use the Nexus route coordinates and prepare for an attack on the Galactic City, Palpatine entered the Jedi Temple as the Jedi had requested. The Chancellor felt the ancient Sith foundations beneath him, giving him power, climbing the steps to the Council's spire. Awaiting his arrival were all of the Council members and Anakin, so he ordered Grievous to begin his attack, and Order 66 to commence upon his move on the Jedi. Yoda could sense the change in mood from the usually benevolent Chancellor, as well as the imminent danger, so silently signalled for Obi-Wan to escort Anakin as far away from the darkness as he could, before Windu tried to perform the midichlorian test on Palpatine. But as the Jedi Master reached to take a blood sample, the Sith burst into action, sending a powerful force wave around the room, then sought Anakin. Yoda got to his feet first, scarcely believing the ferocity of the attack, before gazing outside and seeing the clones entering the temple with Grievous and the droids. To his relief, Anakin and Obi-Wan had managed to hold them off, and they began to tackle Grievous, as more Jedi moved to assist them. The Jedi Master and his Padawan worked seamlessly together, deflecting the frenzy of strikes in their direction and attempting to slice off one limb at a time, but they struggled to gain ground until Master Windu leapt from above to crush Grievous's chest and leave them open for a joint killing blow. Despite the fall of Grievous, many Jedi Masters, Knights and Younglings had fallen at the hands of the clones and the droids, and Palpatine helped the rampage. Crucially, Obi-Wan had not allowed Anakin out of his sight, and as they catch the Sith, Anakin looks horrified at Palpatine, asking him to join him and fulfill his destiny. Yoda arrived just in time to push Palpatine out onto the floor, knocking over a group of clones, and he refused to let the premonitions become a reality. Palpatine growled at the little green Jedi, igniting his blade as light and dark began to duel. The two were evenly matched, as those approaching the battle flew back from the energy emitted, all except Anakin. The Jedi Knight had made a choice, and with the Council's faith in his marriage to Padme, he dealt the killing strike to end the war. Yoda collapsed to the floor in exhaustion, but glad that his teachings and those of the Jedi had been correct, as the future was always in motion. Anakin's faith in the Order had been justified as he continued his marriage to Padme and ensured that the darkness would not rise again. That is it for What If Yoda had premonitions of Anakin turning to the dark side. If you enjoyed this What If, please like this video, turn on that notification bell, click that subscribe button on this channel, as well as on my other channel What If Films. And as always, leave a comment on what if you'd all like to see next, and how I can improve my videos. Thank you all very much for watching, and see you next time.